provision, manage inside the data center or in the external clouds as well, and have choice in doing so. The third of our initiatives is actually around the client or end user computing. And the starting point for this initiative is that we as an industry have kind of got things backward. We focused really on provisioning devices and installing software to a particular piece of hardware. But this is really about enabling people, enabling users to get their job done. And hopefully people stay, devices come and go. And we need to focus management on provisioning people, not on provisioning devices. So we need to create an environment that will belong to the user, not to the device, and have that environment stay with the user, be available to them, independent of what device they happen to be using at that point in time. So we need to get the infrastructure to take over the job of taking those user environments and mapping them as appropriate down onto a particular device that the user happens to be using at that point in time. And what should be permanent is the creation and management of that user environment. And we should recognize that these devices are transient and they come and go, and the plumbing should take care of provisioning them. So we are working on a comprehensive strategy to do that, and not just do that, but to do it for all of the types of users in the environment. To date, a lot of people have realized that they can become more efficient in terms of providing end-user computing by adopting a thin client approach, which works well for quite a considerable segment of the population, typically people who are very task-oriented, moderate users, people in specialized environments like education and hospitals, but it doesn't work for everybody. Particularly, it doesn't work for people who are using laptops, who have to be highly mobile, who might have very compute-intensive or graphic-intensive loads, and in particular, it doesn't work for the CIO or the CEO who's just gone and bought himself a Macintosh, and IT's tearing their hair out about that one. So we need to get a comprehensive strategy to address all of the users, and we will actually be going back to our roots to do this. If you remember what I said earlier, in 1998, VMware started as a client-side virtualization company. We originally, the first product was a product that allowed you to run Windows applications under Linux, and we have kept that investment alive. So we've had this faithful band of people who've been beavering away in the corner, working on our client-side virtualization technology. And it's actually pretty mature and good technology at this point in time. So we will be kicking in to complete our picture here, our client-side virtualization technology. And the way that that will work is what we will provide is a set of tools for allowing you to centrally manage those user environments, to create them, maintain them, update them, and do so very efficiently, working from templates. So rather than managing 10,000 desktops, you'll be managing just a handful of templates from which everything else derives. And the underlying storage will be so optimized. Because we know we're working from templates, we can do very efficient deduplication, if you like, and only store what really has to be stored, rather than lots and lots of redundant copies. And having created those central environments, we will then map them as appropriate, dynamically, to the device that the user happens to be using at that point in time. So if they sit down in front of a thin client, we will instantiate that user environment in a virtual machine running on a server blade somewhere in the data center and give them a connection through the thin client. If, on the other hand, they happen to sit down in front of a powerful desktop machine or in front of a laptop, we'll make sure that that machine, the desktop machine or the laptop, has enough smarts to kind of dial home and say, authenticate the user and say, XYZ just logged on, give me his environment. And we'll take the environment at that point and run it in a virtual machine on that thick client device. And because we're running it in a virtual machine on a bare metal hypervisor, we can effectively wall it off from whatever else might be on that machine, protect it from any other weird and wonderful software that might be there, viruses, malware, etc. Literally, you can even walk into an internet kiosk in Guatemala and sit down and log on, and basically, if you have a good enough connection, get your environment run locally in a secure way. So we create basically these environments. So we allow you to basically have the tools to efficiently create and manage those user environments. And then we map them down initially with the underlying system software onto the device. And then we migrate down as well any data specific to the user. And as the user changes that data, we're equally importantly basically trickling back, replicating back any changes into the cloud. So that literally, if for some reason that laptop you're using dies, modular, any gaps in connectivity, you can basically throw it away, get another one, log on, your environment will come down and you continue working. And what this allows some of our customers to achieve is what they call the BYOPC environment. And that stands for bring your own PC. In other words, they want to get to an environment where they actually no longer even provide directly hardware to their users. They treat them like cell phones. You say, we're going to give you a certain allowance every year. You take that money, you buy your laptop, and when it breaks, don't call us. Send it back to the manufacturer, get another one. But we will centrally manage and securely manage the environment that you see. And that's what we're working to. So we will complete the rollout of everything that I've described here in 2009. It actually started in December of last year, 2008, with that suite of management tools that allows you to create those centralized profiles from templates, very efficiently store them in management. That was what we call the VMware View Composer 3.0 that was released then. During the course of this year, we will dramatically improve our thin client experience, so the experience the user gets when they happen to sit down in front of a thin client and that environment gets instantiated in a virtual machine running on a server somewhere. So we're doing significant work in the protocol area. We have a pluggable protocol architecture, so you can use different protocols. We ourselves have entered into agreement with a company called Teradici that currently has a hardware accelerated protocol. They are working with us to do a software implementation of that protocol, which we will make available to all of our partners, which will basically complete the set of features that you want in both the WAN and the LAN environment. Then at the same time, we're using that long-standing client virtualization assets that we have to allow you to work on laptops and desktop machines using the local resources, but still doing so in a centralized, centrally managed, efficient way. So that is our client virtualization platform. Now, that's obviously a very important set of investments for us to make. And to help with that, we are today announcing that we're entering into a formal partnership with Intel on this. And I'd like to welcome Greg Bryant, who's the Vice President of the Client Group at Intel, to come up and join me. Greg?